Today on the channel, Jakks Classic Superstars Series 25. Welcome everyone, Kyle here and welcome back to the channel. Today we continue our deep dive in Jakks Classic Superstars and we're already up to Jakks Classic Superstars Series 25, home stretch of the traditional singles series. And we talk on the channel a lot about heavy hitters. Well, this is probably, if not the most, heavy hitter set as far as value in the Jakks Classic Superstars line. But before we get into all that, make sure you like, make sure you comment when we're done here, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. As you guys know, we're doing all these Jakks deep dive videos. Every Tuesday a new video. We got enough videos to take us deep into 2021 as well. But we still got the deluxe classics, the tag teams, the box sets, the ring giants, the triple 3-packs. We got a lot of Jakks ground to cover in the Classic Superstars series still to go. So thank you guys that are watching each week and keeping track and joining in all the fun on these Jakks Classic Superstars video. But back to Jakks Classic Superstars 25, which we're talking about today. This is a set I have zero recollection of seeing in the stores. This is really at the end, right before Jakks is getting ready to lose the license. And if I remember right, this was the set was kind of announced at the time where we found out Jakks was losing the license to Mattel. I could be wrong on that, but that's how I remember it in my head. I did buy this entire set at Ringside Collectibles back in the day, which I'm really glad I did because this set was extremely hard to get. You guys let me know in the comments, did you ever see any of these in Series 25 in the store? I'd be really interested to see if you did because I didn't see one. My Toys R Us has usually got at least one case. They didn't get any of these. And some of these figures are the most sought after and hardest to find and highest value Jakks Classic Superstars in the whole series. So it's just a crazy, crazy set at the time. I remember just thinking, I can't believe how rare this is. Just couldn't find them. They just were nowhere. Target, Kmart, Walmart, Toys R Us, nothing. Nothing at all in my area. So very happy to have these. We'll go through them like we always do, one by one. And today we're going to start with one of my all-time favorites and one of my most wanted figures ever from Mattel. I would love to see Jesse the Body Ventura Commentator's Edition. I'll take a wrestler version too, but the commentator one, that is what I want. I want to put that with my Vince McMahon, my Gorilla Monsoon. It's a huge glaring hole in the announcer lineup and in the 80s wrestling lineup, and I hope one day Mattel makes this happen. If Mattel can't make it happen, I'm sure maybe when Jazzware starts their new Classic Superstars, maybe they can make that happen. But we got to see a Jesse. So here's the Jesse Ventura. We saw the wrestler one a few sets back. Here is the announcer Jesse Ventura, where most people honestly fondly remember him the most. So there's old Jesse right there, looking only like he can look. Got those snakeskin boots, got this jacket on. Got his like golden headdress thing he used to kind of wear every once in a while. He's got a t-shirt, which it's a duck playing, I think, guitar. It's kind of funny. It's funny on the back, we'll get to the prototype, he does not have that, so we'll talk a little bit about that too. But very cool Jesse Ventura. There he is, Jesse Ventura on the side. How about the old glamour shot we love so much? There's the front up here, Jakks Classic Superstars 25. I love the package uniformity. We've said it a million times, but I also love the uniformity. After the first couple of series, they started labeling the top. Genius, just absolute genius. Here's the back. There's old Jesse back there. Look at that. This is a Murder's Row lineup. A lot to discuss in these. There's a lot of interesting things in this series that we'll get to. We got Jesse up top there, and then you can see the prototype of Jesse right there. He did not have the headdress, and he did not have decoration on his shirt. He almost looks like Commissioner Slaughter, Sergeant Slaughter from the Attitude Era. That's kind of what he reminds me of, that suit coat with just a white shirt and bald head. But I'm really glad they added the decoration on the shirt and the headdress on Jesse. I think that headdress goes a long way. Man, I really want to open this guy up. I just want this open in my collection so bad. Let's read the back. Jesse Ventura, 245 pounds, 6'4", finishing move, the backbreaker. Titles, WWE Hall of Fame, AWA Tag Team Champion. Just a phenomenal figure. I have heard this has the Jakks dreaded sticky disease, which we got to talk about. You know, we've talked about it a few times. You put this packing tape on there, and it counteracts or something. It's science. I'm like a young Mr. Wizard. I don't know how I found that out, but I did, and that's what happened. But I really need this next to Vince McMahon. I need this next to Vince McMahon in my collection, in my Detolf cases. I just do. It's just a huge glaring hole. You know, it's such a glaring hole. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to open this. You know what? I'm just going to open it. I don't care. I need it. I need this. I need this Jesse Ventura loose. I got a whole complete mint on card. Not anymore. I don't have a mint on card set of Jakks Class Superstars anymore. I need this Jesse. See you later. Oh man, he's sticky. But we'll fix that. I'll fix that stickiness. Look at that. Plastic prison shot. This just turned into an off-the-cuff unboxing. I don't care. I'll find another Jesse. I just need this guy mint. Oh, yeah. See you later. Oh, boy. Look at that. Fresh out of the package. Jakks Classic Superstars, 2009. Little sticky. Look at that. You take the hat off. Headdress. Holy cow, I did it. Can you believe I just did that? Unbelievable. There's old Jesse Ventura. Man, I love this figure. The snakeskin boots. I just need to get a microphone, which, you know, I have a million microphones I can put in his hand. I'm surprised he didn't come with that. See you later. Just a beautiful figure. What have I done? What have I become? Why have I opened this up? I just had to. I had to open up this Jesse. He's going to be in the Detolfs, and that's the way it's going to be. Or maybe just because I maybe had another one, and this is the really mint one. Gotcha! Ha! There it is. There's old Jesse. I still got him in the package. Pretty clever on my part, huh? Always keep you guys guessing. Anyways, there's Jesse Ventura. Let's see who we got coming up next. Alright, as we settle down in these reindeer games, I'm not opening any more figures here, especially this bad boy, Haku. One of the elites from Mattel we want the most, King Haku. Another 80s staple, be it the King or his tag team with Andre the Giant, his time in the Heenan family, or even his time in the Islanders. Haku is a huge missing piece of that Mattel puzzle, if you ask me. I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree to that. This is another heavy hitter figure. One of the rarest, for whatever reason, one of the rarest and most expensive Jakks Classic Superstars figures. So let's take a look. He's got his beautiful purple on. He comes with a crown. We saw this same crown with Jerry Lawler. We've seen it with the big cat Ernie Ladd. We've seen it a few times. Love the purple. Wish he would have had the robe. Maybe that was a little asking too much, but I think they could have repurposed that Harley Race Jakks Classic robe to put with this. But still a great figure, an amazing head scan. Looks just like Haku screaming. I absolutely love this one. Got his bare feet, of course. You got Haku on the side. The old glamour shot of him screaming. I think it looks just like him. I think this is a spot on. There's the old back. You got the whole Murder's Row down there below. You got Haku glamour shot with the fade back there. Well, let's see what it says, and let's see the prototype spot on to what we got. Yeah, spot on. Haku, 313 pounds, 6'1", finishing move, the Savate kick, and World Tag Team Champion with Andre the Giant, as we talked about. Just a beautiful figure. We also got this Haku. We got another one. We got Ming, which was interesting, and we'll talk about Ming when we get to him. But the skin color change, it was amazing how he went from dark skin to Sheamus white, just over a couple of years. I don't know how that happened, but like I said, if you got this Haku one, this is one I'd really love to have loose, but I'm not paying $100 for a loose Jakks Classic Superstar. My best bet, and hopefully our bets out there, is Mattel comes to the table and makes the King Haku. And I keep throwing it back because, you know, AEW figures are out now. Jazzware's the driving force. Jeremy Padower, the Classic Superstars man, the man that brought this together. I gotta think we're gonna get a new Classic Superstars, hopefully announced in 2021. And Haku is possibly a guy that could be listed in that set. We'll see. I know he probably can't use the Haku name, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But this is one I really want in the Mattel, and hopefully it comes to fruition one of these days. So there you have it. Old King Haku, one of the rarest Jakks Classic Superstars figures. All right, next up in Series 25, we're going to do the LJN representative of the series, and that is Jeff Hardy. Once again, not a huge fan of these in the line. I wish they had their own sub-line. I always felt it just takes a space from another Classic Superstars figure we could have got. I understand what they were trying to make work. It just kind of fell flat, and I think it fell flat for a lot of people. This Jeff Hardy, really weird looking to me. Reminds me of the Trish Stratus we saw a couple series ago. Very anime-esque. It really looks like an anime character. It doesn't look like a wrestler, so very, very strange to me. I know we showed this before. We did do a one-off deep dive video of all these LJNs, all these Jakks Classic LJNs, I should say. But there's Jeff. You know, these are hard plastic, soft hard, somewhere in between, similar to the WCW OSF TMs, maybe a little bit softer. But just this one just kind of fell flat for me, and this is definitely the weakest figure in this set. I find that to be. And one of the weakest LJN representations, too, I think, this Jeff Hardy. There's the back at the lineup below. Let's see what it says about old Jeff. Weight 225 pounds, 6'1". Finishing move, the 450 splash. It's not the Swanton Bomb, it's the 450. Okay. Titles, WWE Champion, WWE European Champion, WWE Hardcore Champion, WWE Intercontinental Champion, WWE Light Heavyweight Champion, and of course, WWE World Tag Team Champions. So we talked a little bit about this in, like I said, that deep dive of the LJN figures, so we won't drain this one in the video. But there it is, Jeff Hardy. Obviously, we did get Matt as well in the LJN style, so that is good. You need both Hardy Boys in that style. So there you have it, Series 25, the LJN representative, easy for me to say, Jeff Hardy. Next up in 25, we come back with another Big Boss Man. We talked about the Big Boss Man figure in the last series, I believe it was. The traditional Big Boss Man. When you think Big Boss Man, you think of that blue collared shirt like you just got done working in the prison. But this is the more Attitude Era Big Boss Man, which I thought was cool to put this, and I was not against this being in the Classic Superstars line. I think the Big Boss Man is one of the most severely underrated big men in all of wrestling. So I'm glad he got his due with both incarnations. What if we could have got a Guardian Angel, or a Ray Trailer, or a Big Bubba? There's so many other incarnations of the Big Boss Man we could have got, but I think we got the two that probably made the most sense for Classic Superstars. But I would love a Guardian Angel figure. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know if that would ever happen. I don't know what circumstance that would ever happen, but I wouldn't turn it down. I'd be a first-day buyer. I'm sure some of you guys would as well. But this is Boss Man in his tactical outfit, you know, teaming with Ken Shamrock in the tag team and stuff, being part of the corporation. Very cool. I like the Velcro kind of vest, the soft goods vest. I think that is pretty neat. We didn't see that ever used again, so it was kind of a one and done here. Obviously got to come with a nightstick. How can you have a Big Boss Man without a nightstick? Great head scan. I always think it looks just like him. I never had an issue with this head scan. I never had an issue with this figure. There he is on the side. Boss Man. Not big anymore. Now he's just a Boss Man. Good for him. Dropping that big. He dropped some LBs and he dropped the big. There's Boss Man. You got the heavy hitters down below. Boss Man glamour shot. Let's see what it says. 290 pounds, 6'7". I don't remember him being that tall, but he was a big dude. He was a big dude, but he was also a really tall guy that a lot of people didn't understand, I think. And kind of like a Billy Gunn scenario. Nobody understands how big Billy Gunn is until you're next to the guy. Finishing move, the Sidewalk Slam. Nobody did it better. Titles, WWE Hardcore Champion and World Tag Team Champion with the man Ken Shamrock, the greatest of all time. Collect them all, it says. On the back, everything looks pretty kosher. It looks all the same as far as the prototypes and everything goes. So no issues there. So there you have it. The old Big Boss Man. A sleeper figure. If you're only going to have one Boss Man, I would say the other one. The other one, the body type's a little rough. This body type's good on this one, but we really want that classic one to be the defining Big Boss Man in our collection. But don't turn this one down. There is a Mattel version of this one as well. It is a little bit better, but still a cool figure nonetheless. So there you have it. Let's move to the next one in Series 25. Next up is one of the most polarizing wrestlers of probably the last 30 years, I would have to say. It seems like people either love him or they hate him. I shouldn't say that because I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't absolutely love him like I love the Ultimate Warrior, Terry Funk, Ric Flair, Ken Shamrock, the old heaviest of heavy hitters. But I don't hate the guy either. I like Goldberg. He's not the worst in the world. My dad, huge Goldberg fan, collects all the Goldberg figures. Shout out to my dad. But This is Goldberg's first foray into the Classic Superstars line in the traditional WCW gear, the black trunks, plain. I would have liked to seen this figure come with the title belt. I think that would have made some sense. It would have been easy enough to do. Just a bit too plain with just, you know, he's no frills outfit. There's not a lot to it, but this is one probably saves money on tooling and everything else. For the set, they can put money towards Jesse's headdress. So I'm okay with that. If the money was saved to go to Jesse's headdress, that makes sense. I got no issues with that. Let's take a look at Goldberg. There he is. Never liked the head scan on this. Kind of just like a, Bill, you want to go mow the yard? I don't want to really mow the yard today. That's kind of that look. I don't want to go. But there he is. Black, pretty plain. Not a lot to say about this one. Just a really weird head scan. Just don't like that one at all. Goldberg on the side. Quick to the point. There he is. Give it a meh. Or he's got a big fat dip in his mouth. I'm not sure. One or the other. And the back. I think the prototype's pretty much identical to what we got. Different set of hands. That was the only difference. Weight 285 pounds. 6'4". Finishing move the jackhammer. We all know that. Titles: WCW Champion, United States Champion, WCW World Heavyweight Champion, WCW World Tag Team Champion. Somebody tell me in the comments who was his tag team partner. Who was he WCW Tag Team Champions with? I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember off the top of my head. So there you have it. But there it is, Goldberg. Not a ton to say about this one. Let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, next up we got the heaviest of heavy hitters, size-wise at least, in Series 25, and that is Bastion Booger. Talk about your deep cut in your Classic Superstars, keeping us as collectors on our toes. Not a lot of us would think of him as a Classic Superstar, or think of him being in the Classic Superstars line. So it's a very deep cut. Bastion Booger, a lot of different incarnations over the year. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. You had what? Mike Shaw, Micah Singh up in Canada, Trucker Norm, Friar Ferguson, I think it was. And then how I first knew him and first learned of him was as Norman the Lunatic with Kevin Sullivan, Brian Pillman. I think, didn't he have a crush on, was it Woman? He must have had a crush on Woman, maybe. But I loved Norman the Lunatic. I'm sure people older than me at the time hated it, but I thought it was a cool gimmick. So really cool we get another deep cut. I love things like this. Yeah, he's not a Classic Superstar, especially the Bastion Booger persona, but we're never going to get a Bastion Booger figure again. It's thinking outside the box. It's given hardcore fans and people that know the product over the years a cool figure. So I love these deep cuts. I wish we'd get more of these. But it is a financial gamble for a company because, be honest with ourselves, we all got to take a step back. You put a Bastion Booger on the shelf right now, the hardcores will grab it out of the first couple of cases, then it'll peg warm forever. It's just the way it is. No younger kids really know the greatness of one Bastion Booger or Mike Shaw or any of his incarnations. But that's just reality. That's the real world. I would love to see the Mattels of the world, go back to your Matty Collector days, have a sub-service where, okay, here's the 5 guys we're going to make. You guys vote, we're going to make 2 of them. And then once they're made, you have a 6-month, or not 6 month, like a 2-3 week order window. Okay, you get to order them and then they're going to come 6 months later. I think that's how you could get some of these characters and really hone in on the hardcore collector market. I think that would be a great idea. Who knows, maybe we'll see that one of these days. But let's look at Bastion Booger, the big man. There he is, quite the outfit on him. No accessories, nothing else. Got the big fat giant mold, of course, that we're used to. You know, I think this one works for him. I don't like the mold as a whole, but I think this is the right body to use for him. I don't think the Kamala Bam Bam Bigelow size would have been good. I think this is the way to go. So I'm okay with it. There he is, Bastion Booger. What a name. There he is on the side. And the back there. I don't think there was any differences between the prototype. I think it's all the same. Yep. Great head scan. These head sculpts, head scans, whatever you want to call them. I call them both. Great. A lot of these classics are just amazing. Bastion Booger, weight 401 pounds. You know, if he missed one meal, he'd probably be $3.99, I'm sure. 6'3", his finishing move, the jumping seated senton. Nothing else. Nothing else to say about old Bastion. And what a name, Bastion. I don't know. You don't hear anybody named Bastion anymore. If I ever have another kid, I'm naming him Bastion. And then we'll call him Booger for short and for his nickname. And speaking of, I did just recently pick up Bastion Booger, Jakks Classic Superstar loose. This is one where you guys know my rule. A lot of these classics, I decided, hey, I'm going to pick up a loose one to put with my Mattels because we're probably never going to get a Mattel or anything else of these. And he fit the mold, and this figure has skyrocketed in the last year. It's ridiculous how much this one costs. Where for the longest time, a lot of these classics, especially the 2010 when the line was moved over to Mattel, 2010, 11, 12, you know, I had all my classics, and I almost sold them. I was like, gosh, these are absolutely worthless now. I mean, you know what I mean. They just devalued so much. Mattel was the new shiny toy, but it's amazing what another 10, 11 years can do as far as value. And the classics have exploded across the board, and characters like this, deep cuts that we know we're never going to get, are worth a ton, and that's Bastion right there. So pick this one up. I forget what I paid, but it was really reasonable, so reasonable I could not pass that up. So that's what I did. I picked up old Bastion Booger. So there it is, the heaviest of heavy hitters in the line, Bastion Booger. Next up, Big Show. And I just made myself a liar because I just said Bastion Booger, the heaviest of heavy hitters, the biggest heavy guy in the set. Well, technically Big Show's heavier and taller than Bastion Booger, but, you know, he's the big fat guy of the set. Big Show's the big guy of the set, I guess we'll say. But this Big Show figure is the ultimate head scratcher. I don't know if I scratched my head more over any figure at the time. Just, I didn't understand this. I didn't understand this at all. So, peek under the tent. We're going to get to Jakks Class Superstars 27 in 2 weeks. They re-released this exact same figure, exact same everything in 27, just his hands in a different position. That was the only change. Very similar to that Rock figure we got maybe 10 series ago, where one series comes with the world title, the other one the Intercontinental title. They didn't even give us a different title. They gave us the exact same figure, just a different pose in the package. Head scratcher beyond belief. This was really when the buzz of the collector community, if you guys put yourself back, maybe you weren't around for it, that was really the time where everybody said, oh, Jakks, they're phoning it in. They lost the license. They just don't care anymore. And we saw some more of that in some of the later series, especially the last series, 28. Man, things take a real ugly turn. We'll get to those in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, you don't want to miss those videos. It's going to be a real pull back the curtain and really take out the fist and beat Jakks down a little bit. But save that for a couple of weeks. But we'll talk about this Big Show now. It's kind of, I think this represents his St. Valentine's Day Massacre when he first showed up in the WWE. So I guess that's okay. I believe he has this singlet on underneath this. So if you wanted to remove the clothes, you could have just the singlet. So that's okay as well. But just, I don't know, just fell flat for me. So there he is. Just looks like he's in his sweatpants lounging around the house in the winter. It's real cold outside. He said, you know, I don't want to go out and snowblow. It's just too cold today. I can't go do it. But I got all my gear on. I'm ready to go snowblow. But I just can't do it. That's my guess. That's how I interpret this figure. So you got Big Show on the side. Got his little glamour shot. You know, it looks like his high school senior picture. I think they got that side profile, the old school JCPenney's. Yeah, looking good. Looking sharp, Show. There it is on the back. And you got the whole group down there, as we keep saying. Glamour shot up top. Let's see what it says. 441 pounds, 40 more pounds than Bastion Booger. 7 feet tall. Let's see. Finishing move, the chokeslam. Titles, WWE Champion, ECW Champion, WCW Champion, United States Champion, World Tag Team Champion, WCW World Tag Team Champion. Pretty much spot on. Yeah, pretty much spot on from the prototype. And I don't hate the clothes he's in. It just looks really weird. I mean, it's very good quality clothing they have on this. It's not cheap shirts and stuff. It looks actually really good. I've never came across one of these loose, ever. I've never been at like a show or a sale or a store where I've seen a loose one of these for sale to touch this figure. I might actually pick this up. If I saw this for loose for a good price, I'd probably pick it up just because I'm crazy. And that's it. I'm crazy. So there you have it. Big Show, Series 25. Let's finish it up with two of the most hard to get, two of the most valuable classic superstars in the entire line. All right, guys, we're finishing up Series 25 with two heavy hitters, two valuable figures, and we're talking about the Briscoe brothers. We're not talking about the Ring of Honor Briscoe brothers. We're talking about Jack and Jerry Briscoe, two legends of NWA, the Mid-South, they were toured in there, both Oklahoma guys, Crockett Promotions, just two stalwarts and two of the greatest all time. And unfortunately, by a lot of the younger generation, a lot of these guys have been forgotten about, especially Jack Briscoe. Jack was an NWA champion, one of the greatest of all time. You always heard the old timers, I guess now, but when I was a lot younger, they were more getting ready to retire stuff. Everybody always talked about how great Jack Briscoe was. I've spent a lot of time around Jerry Briscoe in the last, 10 years maybe. Every year I see him up in Waterloo at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame banquet and stuff. If you've never been to that Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, definitely put that on your bucket list. It's pretty cool to go, and you got to go in July where they got just tons of superstars. They got a wrestling show. They got a museum you can tour. There's just a lot to do. You can make it a very cheap, easy weekend and meet a lot of legends. And Jerry Briscoe is one of the head honchos of that and helps run that and does a great job. So there's a little cheap plug for the National Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, the Dan Gable Museum up there in Waterloo, Iowa. But I spent a lot of time around Jerry, and Jack I never did meet. But very, very hard to get figures. I remember a lot of people were even upset back then when these came out because, they were kind of forgotten about. Jerry Briscoe obviously had more of a run in the Attitude Era comedy act and around WWE, so some people gravitate towards him. We've even got a Mattel Elite of him recently. We'll show that in a second. But Jack Briscoe, a lot of people have unfortunately forgotten about Jack Briscoe. The Briscoe Funk Wars, obviously me being a big Terry Funk guy, know all about those, watched a lot of that, read a lot about that. That's really my wheelhouse and stuff I really enjoy to hear and see about. But hopefully some people, some of the younger generation will get into the Briscoes a little bit. I don't know if it'll happen, but would be cool if it did. But really interesting and a little bit of a head scratcher back in the day with Jakks Classic. There was a lot of people that complained about these. But Jakks, what they did for this set was they were alternate cases, I believe. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain there'd be different cases. Jack would be in one, Jerry'd be in the other. They didn't do a lot of decorations or decor on these figures. I mean, that's how wrestling was back then. It was plain Jane. You had a pair of trunks. That was it. So not a lot to these figures. But these are very sought-after figures to this day, especially the Jack Briscoe, because we have a recent Jerry. There's not been a Jack. I don't know if Mattel will ever give us a Jack. I really doubt it, unfortunately. But I would love to see both of these incarnations. The cool thing about, and I'll show it real quick, the Mattel Elite Jerry Briscoe, I'm sure that a lot of you guys picked this up. This was a store exclusive. I believe this was exclusive to Walmart, if I remember right, in every couple of cases. Hopefully they do something like that with Jack one of these days, but I doubt it. But you can take his Briscoe Brothers body shop and all that stuff off, and he does look very similar to this. Just a little older in the head, but he's got the orange tights on and stuff like that. So I have two open Briscoes in my collection. I have one in this regalia, and then I have one with him just in his trunks with kind of my Legends shelf. So that's what I did. But a very cool figure. If you didn't get this one, definitely pick it up if you can still find it. But love Jerry, love Jack. We'll see. But let's look at Jack first. The older brother. Unfortunately, Jack died many, many years ago. There it is. There he is on the side. Just looks like a classic 70s pro wrestler promo right there on the side. That's how good the head scan is, head sculpt. There it is. Got good chest hair detail on here. Just great head. I love this figure. Weight 234 pounds, 6 foot tall. Figure 4 leg lock was his finisher. WWE Hall of Fame, NWA champion, NWA tag team champion, of course, with his brother. So there you go. There's Jack. And now let's take a look at Jerry Briscoe. Most people watching this are probably familiar with Jerry. Another great head scan. Just amazing. Jakks, they don't get the credit they deserve about some of these sculpts, 10, 15 years ago. There it is, Jerry Briscoe. There he is on the side. 70s wrestler. 70s promo pick. Right there. Let's see what it says on the back. Jerry Briscoe, 209 pounds, 6 foot tall. Finishing move, the figure 4 leg lock. WWE Hall of Fame, WWE Hardcore Champion. You can also add 24/7 Champion, but obviously not at that time. NWA Tag Team Champion. One interesting note is, like I said, I bought these all from Ringside Collectibles. These are the only two figures in the set that have a different UPC over the UPC. I don't know if that'll show up. It's awfully white. But I'm not sure why there's a sticker on the UPC. So one of those crazy mysteries that'll probably never be solved to this day. But there you have it. the end of Series 25. Like I said, probably the most valuable Jakks Classic Superstars set. Definitely the rarest, as this is the only set I don't remember seeing one figure of at any of the local stores, be it Target, Walmart, Kmart, KB, Toys R Us, you name it. Never saw one at any of them. So really interesting set. A lot of figures we'd love to see updates to. Hopefully one day we get them. I won't hold my breath on it, but it would be great to see, and we'll see what happens. So there you go, Jakks Classic Superstars Series 25. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and then leave me in the comments. I'd love to know if any of you guys saw these out in the stores, if you picked up any of these in the wild. I really, talking to people over the years, it seems like Ringside Collectibles is where the majority of these figures ended up going. So there you go. There it is. I don't got anything else. So for the whole Jakks Classic Superstars Series 25 team, I'm Kyle. I'll see you guys next time for Series 26. See you later.